What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This one's going to be about football, right? It's football season, and I'm a huge 2K football fan, and this video is going to break down each one of these games side by side, raw footage gameplay. But as you can tell, All Pro Football 2K8 has modded rosters. These are two teams that I had created back in December using my All Pro Football roster editor. And as you can see here, the Bills are set up with the current rosters. And I'm playing this against the Cowboys with updated rosters as well. They're not perfect, but they're good enough, and it's gonna be a fun time. But what I really wanted to do in this video was show you guys a comparison between All Pro Football 2K8 and Madden 20, right? Madden 20 just came out a couple weeks ago, and the only reason why I have it is because it actually came included with my Xbox One X system that I purchased about a week ago. So I went ahead and played the same exact team, same exact stadium pretty much, same uniforms, and I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison, you know, to kind of just see what the games look like, you know. And I want you guys to kind of take a look at the gameplay. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm going to be switching back and forth the audio and everything and kind of just walking through and analyzing these two videos. So here's the kickoff. And Isaiah McKenzie's taking it back. Obviously, All Pro Football, I had a better return. But the running in All Pro Football is always better. You know, it always feels like it has a more authentic running game. You feel like you're grounded. You feel like there's gravity, there's weight, momentum. And when you move around, you just can't, you know, just float around anywhere you want. Whereas Madden, as you watch these two side by side, you're going to see Madden to me just feels like the same old running style. You know, they have some momentum, and the gameplay, as you can see in these two runs here, you know, Madden it's just not the same. I mean, the way that the players run, you feel like you don't have as much control in Madden, and the players are really ragdollish. They feel like, to me, like they're hanging on like a string, and that really hasn't changed in the new Madden 20. I mean, it's hard because whenever I get a chance to play Madden, and if I ever get a new one for some reason, then a lot of times, you know, when I first put it on, there are times where I'm like, oh, this game's maybe getting better. But really, really quickly after I start playing it, I start seeing the same old fundamental core issues in the game. And, you know, one thing you can see there, you can see that LaShawn McCoy is holding the ball with one hand. So I think that that's a new thing this year. I don't know if that's player likeness or what, but like Josh Allen looks pretty good. I give him that. He looks like Josh Allen. But if you guys just watch the gameplay, you know, Madden's the kind of game that, yeah, you can play it and you can have some fun with it. You know, it's not a horrible game. You know, compared to 2K, I love 2K. I love All Pro Football 2K. The gameplay is authentic, and it just feels so much more realistic. So we're going to take a look at the Madden 20 video here and just watch some of this gameplay. We're going to switch around and kind of go back and forth. But you see he's running with one hand every time. And the one thing I'm finding in Madden, a lot of what I basically do is just try to find holes and attack them. You know, if you hold the LT trigger down in Madden, you can get the modifier, and you know, he runs a little bit slower and your moves are more calculated. But, I mean, this pass, I don't know how he caught it. I don't know what number 24 was doing. I don't know why he didn't try to intercept that, but he just like totally just jumped off the ball. And I should have been penalized for that throw. I think that he should have knocked it down, to be honest with you. He just like overshot the route, I guess. But to me, when I threw it, he was in perfect position to take that and just run it back for two. I like the pylon cam. I think that's pretty cool that they do that. So definitely a cool view there. And, Madden has, and that's why some people out there who are in the sim community still buy this game, because Madden comes with all the rosters, right? Every team's made. They may not be perfect. They may have some issues, but the teams are there. Their names are there. The announcers, know about the history of the NFL, and you can kind of hear some things about last year's season and the players and where they, and where they've progressed to and all that. And so those things are nice. I mean, they're out of the box, and the presentation in this game, some parts are better than they have been in the past, but other parts, like the halftime show, to me, it's like non-existent, and I don't understand that. Compared to Maddens of the past, the recent past, it's not. The halftime shows haven't been very good, so I actually prefer it this way. I'd rather not have any halftime show at all, basically, than have what I've seen in the past. But, but this game, I do see some cool presentation pieces in it. You can celebrate here, and it shows like bench cut scenes, and, it has some pretty cool things that it shows in the game. But, the overall running, the overall animations, the way the game feels, it just does not feel as authentic and as simulation as all Pro Football 2K, But is the game horrible? No. And I haven't played it enough to really, really give my full analysis in the game. But let's go ahead and switch back over to All Pro Football 2K8 here. And let's take a look at how that game plays so you can feel the difference, And this game that I played, where it was the Dallas Cowboys and the Bills, same teams, same everything. First thing you're going to notice, the graphics, right? The graphics aren't perfect, right? The graphics are not next-gen graphics. They're the previous console. So you're going to have that difference there. But to be honest, if you have a nice TV, it looks really, really good. And you can also get, there are people out there that are talking about the emulators now, and you can get an emulator and play it on your PC, and it looks a lot better. It's a higher res. I really enjoy it on my TV, and I'm happy with it. So I don't really need anything more than that. Now, if you watch this gameplay, you're going to just see a lot more, in my opinion, a lot more realism in the game. It's 2K football, and it just feels awesome. And this is the reward that you get, right? And we'll compare the two here again, side by side for a little while. This is the reward that you get if you get the All-Pro Football Editor, and I encourage any of you who are out there to go ahead and pick it up. It's not a lot of money compared to what you're getting, and it's really, really entertaining. I love it. It's fun to make your own roster. You can research your teams. You can learn about the different players, and it's fun. If you're doing it the right way, it's really cool to see the different, see things you don't normally see because you don't normally maybe dive in that far, And then when you create your team, it takes what All Pro Football 2K8 did, where they created this system with the game, which I thought was pretty innovative at the time, and it allowed you to build these custom teams. So if you want to build a heavy offensive powerhouse, you can do that, or you can build a defensive team, or you can build a balanced team, or anything in between. But with the editor, you basically can become your own roster guy, and you can take any team you want, and you can spread out the different stars, the gold and the silver and the bronze, and you can create your own take on the current NFL teams if that's what you want to do. You can do college. You can do any league that's out there, basically. Now, obviously, you have limitations, but you look at these two games side by side, and they look pretty good, in my opinion. These uniforms, the players, everything to me looks nice. The field pass that they do in All Pro Football, sometimes I like it, sometimes it can get a little bit annoying, but it's cool because it gives you that immersion, right? The one thing about Madden that's still a problem, it's very laggy, very choppy. You know, it still feels glitchy. And you see so many videos online where you see bugs everywhere. And the game is just, it's just this huge project that has Band-Aids and fixes and bugs and just all these things that are just lingering around inside of the engine. And because of that, you have bugs all the time that they probably can't even begin to attack because there's too many problems inside the code, right? So what they end up doing, as they always do, they slap on better graphics, hopefully better player models. The audio's getting better. The commentary's better than what it used to be, in my opinion. Some new modes, MUT, the career mode. But at the end of the day, it's like the core of it is just not very good. And that's unfortunate. Now, could you buy Madden and enjoy it? Sure, you can buy it and enjoy it. If you expect it to be something better than what you're used to, then you're going to be disappointed. But what I like to do is I like to play around with all football games. And the only reason why I got Madden, like I said, is because it came for free. And I figured I'd give it a run so I can do at least some videos on it. But if you just look at the gameplay, that's why they're side by side. Look at the gameplay. Look at the difference. And look past the next gen graphics. But I mean, even this play right here with Josh Allen, I mean, he threw a gun in between all these guys, but look how the defender turns around and just snatches it. But he couldn't pick it up. I did a replay there because I wanted to see how high up the defender jumped. In Madden, I like that little cutscene they do there. I do enjoy that. It's a little bit better than it has been in the years past. It's been a little bit improved. But, you know, those things are small improvements, in my opinion. Those are things that really don't have a lot of weight because it's not the gameplay. I want a game like 2K. And 2K is not perfect, right? But 2K has a lot of strategy. And this game I played on the left, I mean, the first half was really defensive. I couldn't get anything going offensively, so it's a bit boring, but the second half was better. This video, we're only going through the first half to save time, but you can still see the gameplay. And I have the settings set to really difficult simulation settings. But it's cool, and that's why I keep telling you guys, pick up the editor. You're going to have a blast with it. It's well worth the money. And I'm making improvements to it here and there. You can also do a franchise mode. And that's the one thing about All Pro Football that always feels like it's missing. It's a great game. I love the gameplay. I love the on-the-field interactions. You see animations that you don't always see. I've been playing this game for over a decade. And I still saw an animation in here that I've never seen before. I saw a couple that I never saw before. One was like a horse tackle, a weird horse tackle move, and the other was, it was like pulling the player down some weird way, and it was just, or no, it was a weird catch. It caught it with like one hand and slid underneath the player. It's just really, really deep when it comes to the animation library that game came with. So even after playing it over a decade, I still see things that I've never seen before. Same thing if I go back to ESPN 2K5, right? But anyways, the thing with All Pro Football is we don't have a franchise mode. We have a very, very simple season mode. We don't have all 32 teams in the game. But the editor that I created allows you to do franchise mode where it basically saves all your stats from year to year, and you can play it as long as you want. So you can see how your players progress over the years, and there's a lot of opportunity there, right? There's opportunity to make the editor more robust and make the franchise mode not just a career stat tracking system. Make it more of like progression goals and career goals and season goals, and maybe your coach can get fired. Maybe there's, ways that you have a draft. Right now, the franchise mode has rookies you put in there, and you can retire players, and there's free agents, but it's all done very manually. There are people in the community that are doing spreadsheets that allow you to export your teams, and they progress your players for you week to week. So the community is really growing, and people are making more out of the editor and the franchise mode with simple tools that are coming out. So if you go to the Discord server for APFe, you can catch those. I really like this pass here. I threw it deep, and I overthrew him. And I couldn't come down with it. But as you can see here, when I threw the ball, I pushed up, and I have maximum passing on. I threw it to lead him, but it just went a little too far. But the cool thing about it is it didn't get anywhere near the defender's hands, right? And that's what's cool about it. I don't have to worry about some Superman jump and some defender just stealing my ball from me. I mean, it allows you to place the ball, and if you place it in the wrong spot, then, you're going to be, look at that. That's awesome. I'm running, and I just threw an errant pass because I was on the run, and I tried to throw a gun, and I got penalized. I can tell you one thing I did notice in Madden this year that I haven't noticed before is when you throw a bullet pass, your accuracy really, really takes a hit. And I don't know if that's every single player, every QB, or that's just the QBs that have less accuracy, or if it's a weighted thing. But I did like that part about it. So in Madden, if you try to throw bullets, especially if you're on the run, I noticed that they were very inaccurate. And I like seeing that. I like seeing the ball not always go right to the receiver. I want to see the ball get overthrown. I want to see it underthrown. Definitely want to see it tipped. And All Pro Football does that the best. And man, this game, Ezekiel Elliott could not get going in the first half. Second half, he started to pick it up. But that's what's cool. I made these two teams, and I'm experimenting with them. And you have to play a few games to really see how they play. Your settings matter. But I really, really feel good about these settings I have. I've made changes to them, and they're very, very, very good. I mean, I want to play a game that's difficult. I want to be able to feel like it's very, very difficult for me to score and to stop the other team, right? That's the kind of gameplay I'm looking for. I'm a simulation guy, and that's what I feel like I have with these rosters and with these settings. So just you could just see the difference, just watching these two. And remember, this game's over a decade old, so I shouldn't even be comparing a brand new Madden game to All Pro Football. That's a good stop right there by Alexander. There weren't as many highlights as I wanted to have, but at the end of the day, this game is a masterpiece in a lot of ways. They missed on the depth of the game, and they could have done so much more with it. But even today, it stands up really, 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 really well against the latest football game in Madden 20. And that's why I created the All Pro Football editor. I wanted to bring life to the game. I wanted people to be able to enjoy this game for a long time. And if we don't get another 2K football game, then you know what? We have this. So, but if you pick up Madden and you want to play Madden, you can do that and you can have a decent time. But if you really want a simulation game and you really want to feel like you're getting your football fix, pick up All Pro Football 2K8. Pick up the editor or download some modded rosters, whatever you can do to get the latest rosters on here from the NFL, and enjoy the game. I mean, you could even play the game the way it comes, and it's going to be enjoyable, right? So I gave Brian Jones a bronze, I think, star because he's a really good punter. So, I mean, that was a pretty good kick there, and they got it at the 1. I thought he slipped into the end zone, but I couldn't challenge it. So, yeah, see, I can't challenge it. So, yeah, so I got stuck. I'm on the 1-yard line. I'm on the goal line. But this game was a tough battle. I mean, it was a little boring because I couldn't really get going. But I've played some games since, and I'm having a great time with these settings. I couldn't get out of here either. But when you run in this game, you just feel good. It just feels solid, And in Madden, it's the same old running style. There might be some slight modifications, but in the end, it's very, very similar. And I don't think they're going to fix it until they change the entire game, And that was cool doing a safety kick there. But these are the real rosters, guys. I mean, this is the Madden 20 comparison, and I thought it would be cool to do this because I don't think I've seen a video like this before. So I think it's kind of cool to see these two games side by side and then, watch how they play. I think it's kind of cool. Ooh. That was nice. So tell me what you guys think. I mean, I'm ready for football. I'm excited. I just heard about the Andrew Luck retirement last night, and that was very surprising. But after you hear his speech and his retirement, speech in the press conference room, he's very well spoken. I mean, he's pretty good with. He's a pretty smart guy. You can just tell the way he speaks, and he's a great player, and he's the kind of player that just is smarter than others, and he doesn't want to abuse his body anymore. So that was kind of interesting to see. I should have had that. I should have had a manual pick there, user pick there, but I also like seeing them drop it. I don't want to see picks every single time. I was right there. I made the right play, and unfortunately, he couldn't come down with it. But the point is, that's football, man. And if you have a game where you have a deep franchise mode and you can see things like what happened last night with Andrew Luck, I mean, that's awesome because you have storylines and you have things that are happening in a game in a season that you, in your career, in your franchise, that you would never, predict. And football has so many different storylines going on, and there's yet to be a game that captures the best game that ever captured it was ESPN 2K5. You play the franchise mode on ESPN 2K5, and you're gonna have a great time because there's so much story behind it. Like that's the play right there, that horse collar that he just did right there, and that was a cool animation. I don't think I've seen that before, and I'm going to check it out right now and see the replay. I mean, I don't know if I've seen that exact animation before, but I know I've seen horse collars, but that one looked different than what I'm used to seeing. And that's why you don't need to have a pure physics engine in a game. You can just have animations and they can look great. I mean, look at NBA 2K, right? That was a great pass right there. Nice little floater to the outside, right? I think I was out of bounds though. But when you play this game, like I said, if you have the rosters and you use the franchise mode in the All-Pro Football Editor, you can have a good time. You can have a great time. Not a good time. You can have a great time. So I think I'm going to try to do – I'm definitely going to be doing streams again. I took a little bit of time off. I had some family in. You see, you can even change the coaches. So you have the right coach names, and you pick the best, faces and bodies that you can pick, but you can do it. You can make it look very close to the NFL if you want to. But I'm going to be doing streams of this game. I'm probably going to do a couple streams of Madden just to kind of share what my thoughts on the game and at least show you guys real life gameplay without any, without too many, too many mods or, just looking at the game from a negative lens. I mean, the one thing that I can't stand, and you can see it with the way they walk, their legs still have those kangaroo legs, right? Where the knees are sticking out, and they have like that V shape angle to them. And I don't know why they do that. I mean, they still have not been able to change the way that players move, And you'll see the difference. I mean, we just got done seeing All Pro Football 2K8, right? And we're gonna watch this game, and the cutscenes look pretty good, but when you look at the actual gameplay, it still looks jerky in my opinion. I mean, look at this run back here. I'm running straight forward, and I get hit, and I'm down. I mean, it's very plain and simple, And maybe I'm not doing the moves like I should, but whatever. The cool thing too is, you have dreadlocks. And the towels hanging on their thing, but that's all just, in the grand scheme, those are all things that are. I waited way too long to throw it there. Those things are just pretty icing, items. That's a cool cutscene there. I like seeing cutscenes. I feel like the quarterback does the same exact pre-hike motion every time, same animation every time. So that's kind of getting old. I've seen that animation a lot. But hey, is the lighting great? Yes. Are the graphics really nice? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's about gameplay. And if you want a game that feels solid, you want a game that feels simulation, you know which one to get. Madden really hasn't changed a lot. And unfortunately, maybe it'll take a brand new console. Maybe the next console's coming out next year. Maybe those will be the ones that make Madden build a brand new engine. I don't know. But there's no football games like 2K in my opinion. And they really did a great job. So let's see what happens here. I'm trying to get some kind of score before halftime. See if I can get something going here. So I got a sack there. I don't have much time left, though. I have, 15 seconds? One timeout. And what this game also does, it cuts out a lot of the walking up to the line. I used to like that. I know it's a little bit more efficient with your time. And those fumbles, man, are I've seen a couple of those happen, and they seem to be happening a little bit more frequently than they should, to be honest with you. But I've only played a couple games, so I can't really say how bad it is or good it is. But I could tell you one thing, though. Dallas is really, really good. When I played Dallas a couple times, and they're really good in Madden. I have to make mine a little bit stronger. I don't think that they're good enough in my All Pro Football roster, because they are a better team, at least on paper. So I thought I threw it, man, but I guess he brought it down and the ball popped out. But the way they were able to pick it up so quickly, you'll see, it'll pop out right here, and the way the guy just scoops it up after I pop it out is just, to me, it's just very simple. But I guess let's see that again. I want to see what happens here. That guy was just wide open. I'm doing a screenplay. I guess I should have thrown it earlier, but number 75 could have chip blocked him a little bit. Give him a little bit of a nudge. But even number 77 should have tackled him. As soon as he went to go pick up that ball, he should have tackled that dude. He could have done that. So yeah, so that's what you get with Madden. I mean, you know, it's not perfect. It's obviously not the worst game in the world. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as 2K football. Still, there are people out there that just are either ignorant or they've surrendered or they really like this game. I don't know. You know, the NFL is cool to see. I'm getting a little run back here, see if I can get around. It's a nice juke, another juke. But even those juke moves look like slithery, you know? And even the bench animations, these players don't even look as, like, they all look like they're doing the same animations, half the players. But even those juke animations look so, like, basic. And here's the halftime show. I like that stat pop up there that they just showed. But here are your, you know, here's your halftime show. You have a couple of highlights, and it's very, very quick, very simple. I mean, I was able to stop and throw a bomb on a dime, and that's the entire halftime show. So let's go over to All Pro Football and check out the half here and see the difference between the two. Because even though this game didn't have a franchise mode, they still had a pretty decent halftime show and end of game show. Let's check it out here. This was a huge kick I made from deep before halftime to get a score in. I think the game was like 3-2 at this point. But second half got very interesting in this game. We started to heat up really bad, and Dallas was playing better for sure. Well, yeah, check it out. I mean, this is the halftime show for the All Pro Football, and it's better. I mean, it's not perfect. I still like 2K5's better. But, you know, they show the stats here. They go through on the bottom the different player stats. It just feels like you're getting more, you know. Time of possession in this game was all on the Dallas side, so they had a better first half than I did, for sure. But you can look at the stats in the bottom, and you can start to see the highlights, play by play. You know, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot in this half, so you're not going to see too many. But they had this in this game. They had the 2K5 replay engine in this game. And if they would have done a franchise mode, they could have really, really done a great job with the weekly wrap-up show, you know? But, I mean, look at the way the guys play. Look at the way Allen moves around. Look at those catches. Look at the way they jump. Look at the bench. The game just looks so much better. Even the player models, the way the players have different sizes and their body types, and they just look better. And all of these guys here have the same, you know, NFL realistic heights and weights, and, you know, I try to get the abilities to where they need to be, and this game just does it very well. The All Pro Football editor that I made really, really complements the game, and you guys should check it out for sure. So that was basically my side-by-side comparison, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check it out again if you need to. I know it's long, but look at the side-by-side comparison and check it out, and leave your comments on what you think about the game. So take care. Peace.